Hey everyone, how's it going? Rock Ground is just such an iconic type. Maybe because Geodude was just so common in generations 1 and 2, but when you think of early generation bulky Pokemon, Rock Ground Pokemon like Rhydon and today's entry Golem, they come to mind. Unfortunately, as we've discovered, they're not so great at this challenge for a bunch of reasons. Mostly because they're usually quite slow and very vulnerable to water and grass attacks, which become increasingly common as the game goes on. However, I have a feeling Golem might be a little different. I mean, its stats aren't horrendous. 45 base speed for a slow Pokemon is okay, and that's some really good attack. It also has a very interesting move pool. Having said that, it on the surface just looks like a bad version of Rhydon. Why do I think it's going to do any better than a Pokemon that very likely, when it's all said and done, is going to be the bottom 10 worst fully evolved Pokemon? Well, you'll have to watch to find out. But first, a big thank you to the sponsor of today's video, FlexiSpot. Today I'm featuring FlexiSpot's C7M chair, and boy, is this a big step up from what I had to use before. Just the most basic uncomfortable chair. Well, not the FlexiSpot. I'm going to highlight some of the key features, but the key word is flexible. This chair can move in many ways. If you want to adjust the headrest, whether you want to adjust the height or the depth, you can do that. Do you want to adjust the depth of the seat? You can do that too. I have not a great back. I play hockey 4 times a week, and I sit in my chair a lot to edit, make videos. I need it to be comfortable and supportive. The FlexiSpot has really good lumbar support, and even when I'm reclining, it moves right with me. It is a really great chair for my back, and when I want to put my feet up, it has this really cool footrest where I can go and put my feet up. Works while reclining. The cushion, as you can see, extremely soft, very comfortable, and even the armrest can be adjusted in any way you please, in any configuration you would like. I feel completely comfortable and supported when I sit in this for long sessions, playing a Gen 1 solo run, or streaming on Twitch. And if you would like your own C7 Morpher, well, very good news. All you gotta do is click the link in the description, and remember to use my code JROSE50 for $50 off. FlexiSpot offers a 30-day risk-free trial and a 10-year warranty with full replacement for damaged parts. Alright, well, first things first, we do eventually have to battle Brock. And Brock is the reason I know that Golem will not be a top tier or anything close. Because, well, we just have Tackle and Defense Curl. It sucks. Many fully evolved Pokemon get a really useful move default, even though you can't catch them naturally at that level. Unfortunately, all we get is Defense Curl a little early, which isn't going to help versus Brock. There are some things that will help. Unlike Rhydon, which is actually in the slow level up group because it has such great stats, Golem does not. And so it's in the medium slow level up group, the same as the starters, which in the early game is actually the fastest to level up, and this is huge because we're going to need to do that. I battle all the trainers in Viridian Forest, and then I try to battle Brock, but we run into a problem. We're going to have to play these battles very quickly, but essentially, I just use Tackle. But what's going to slowly happen is, although I have great defense and enough HP that I'm not going to faint, I do run out of tackles. And once that happens, I mean, what do I even do? I could try to use up all my defense curls, but that would take forever, and probably by that point, Onix would do enough tackles to knock me out. So we battle the Light Years trainer. Just get a little bit more levels, right? That should be enough. Sadly, no. The next idea I had was to go back to Viridian Forest, use up all my defense curls, because then when I ran out of tackle, at least I could use Struggle. Struggle is classified as a normal move in this game, but it's stronger than tackle, And yeah, the recoil damage will suck, but it'll likely be just one back to me every time. Maybe that'll work. This worked better. I could get more damage on Onyx, but still, I did this a few times and I wasn't getting that close. Now, a little bit of lore. I actually made this video because another video that was supposed to come out wasn't ready yet. And so this was my first solo run I've done offline in like 3 years. And because of that, I was sort of watching some videos and not really realizing how long I was spending on this. But what I ended up doing, which was better but still didn't work, is I would leave like 8 defense curls. So I would have some tackles and then I'd use defense curl to try and avoid some damage from bide. That still wasn't enough to work. So what did work? So I needed luck, that's obvious, but there's a little bit more to it than that. What I need is for Geodude, first of all, I need to be at level 14, and then I need Geodude to delay defense curl. This, as you can tell, does a lot more damage than after some defense curls I'm basically doing nothing. The next thing we need are some critical hits. Critical hits means I have more tackle for Onyx, but I actually don't want too much tackle for Onyx because struggle does more. It's a balancing act. So this time I think we make it with 6 power points. Now what we need is good luck with bide. So when Onyx uses bide, we just go to defense curl. This will help because Onyx likes to use Screech as well. We're not getting any badge boosts or anything like that. We just don't want to get knocked out by tackle. The luck we need against Onyx is basically don't use bide. Once I run out of tackles, just stop using bide. Because once I use struggle, bide does, well, you can see it does a ton of damage. I had gotten really close. There was a battle where we knocked each other out, which counts as a loss for me. But finally, after like half an hour, a literal half an hour, I beat Brock. Part of that is to blame the ABC show, What Would You Do? I was watching the show, and so I was kind of entertained and not like impatient like I usually am, and I just level up. But I did have to level up a little bit. Still, considering we just had tackle, this is a fairly decent Brock battle, but I think it took like 50 or so minutes, which is about 38 more than most other Pokemon would take that are going to be in the top tier. So there's no chance Golem finishes there, but hey, a strong second half could at least put in contention for the B tier. As we make our way to Cerulean City, we will get a couple new moves, one via level up and one via TM in Mount Moon, and we're going to see both of them on display versus Rival 2. Both of them have issues though. Actually, it's fair to say they have the exact same issue. They miss. But Rock Throw in this game inexplicably misses 35% of the time, making it more likely to miss than Thunder for some unknown reason. And Mega Punch can also miss, which proved problematic against Bulbasaur, the worst Pokemon, by the way, for a rock Pokemon to face in Gen 1. The second time around, I actually get hit by Sand Attack, and yet because this game makes absolutely no sense, I'm able to win. Now, part of doing Nugget Bridge quickly is making sure I mix up my moves well and don't have to heal. A lot of Pokemon don't have that option, but Golem will with Tackle, Rock Throw, and Mega Punch. I did, however, lose to the last, but not for the usual reason where I get outsped. Here, I just got horrendous luck with Mega Punch. It missing 3 out of 5 times. And then on top of that, a Rock Throw miss is comically unlikely. Based on my very rudimentary calculations, that's like 1 in 900 odds. In a lot of games with the proper stuff, that's how likely it is to get a shiny Pokemon. So yeah, that's kind of nuts. I easily won the second battle, in case that needed to be said. Now, at this point, in theory, I could battle Misty, but that's a terrible idea for like 12 different reasons. So instead, we're going to proceed down to the SS Anne. And once again, 2 new very useful moves. Say goodbye to Mega Punch and Tackle, and say hello to Body Slam and Dig. So Rival 3 leads with Pidgeotto, and we could use Rock Throw, and we do. Nice. Then we go for Dig. I wanted to make sure I one-shot it. It is a little slow because it's a 2-turn attack, but that's all right. Kadabra, I know Body Slam will one-shot. And then Dig against the Ivysaur. Perfect. Now, ideally, we would go and battle Surge, but you can't use Cut without beating Misty. So, if we want to do this quickly, the only play after we get the bike voucher is to dig back to Cerulean and battle Misty. But are we going to be able to beat her water Pokemon? Well, good news, we're fast enough that we outspeed Staryu. Starmie then goes for Water Gun, doesn't crit, and then we don't get X Defend. That was actually a really fortuitous series of events that just happened, but it happened first try, so yeah! I will mention that this Golem, I did reset for max speed. Not always at level 5 can you tell whether it's between 10 and 15 DVs or whether it's perfect. Thankfully, Golem, it just so happens to work out that if it had, I believe, 11 speed at level 5, it had perfect speed. And very soon, once we get through Rock Tunnel, we're going to make it even faster. Geo 1, we're going to battle him first, and we use Dig on the Onix, and then Dig on the Rhyhorn, and then we use Body Slam just to see how much it does, followed by Dig. Dig, don't forget, is 100 base power, with the same type bonus, is 150, effectively, basically double that of Body Slam, which is crazy. But here is where we're going to go to the Mart. We're actually going to go to this door, and we're going to go up to the 5th floor, eventually, and we're going to buy Carbos. Already, I'm thinking about, I mean, this isn't my first run. Once you've done 120 something of these runs, you start to think about the fact that this run is going to hinge on whether we can beat Lorelei and whether we can beat Lance's Gyarados. And so I'm already thinking about how fast Golem would need to be to outspeed that Gyarados. One of the biggest problems all the other Pokemon we've used have had is that they've not been fast enough at a reasonable level. But with a max speed Golem, it might be possible. We'll find out a little bit later. Before any of that, we have to go and battle Lieutenant Surge. I would have liked to have done this earlier, but it didn't make sense to walk all the way back to Vermilion just to go back to Cerulean. And you'll see in this battle, I use Rock Slide. The move does have a 10% chance to miss, but it is 1 turn versus Dig's 2, so sometimes it'll make sense to use, like against Raichu. Alright, now we're gonna go proceed and battle Rival 4. This should be fairly easy because Rival 4 is always underleveled, and we have some good moves now. This probably is actually our final moveset. We go for Rock Slide against Pidgeotto and one-shot it. We outspeed Gyarados now, which is good. We outspeed Growlithe, unsurprisingly. I actually have just gone for Rock Slide, and then Ivysaur, I decide to go for Dig just to be safe. Easy peasy, guys. There's not much to say about the Pokemon Tower, so we can skip ahead. We obviously, oh, well, I guess don't run into random trainers, that would be bad. And oh god. Alright, well, as I rebattle Rival 4 because I accidentally did that, we can skip ahead. And we're not going to battle Erica yet, it doesn't make sense. Instead, we're actually going to battle the 5th gym leader, Koga. In a very strange way, Koga might be the key to beating this challenge. We're just going to use Earthquake on Coughing, we're going to use Earthquake on Muck. I think we'll one-shot everything. I don't know if we'll outspeed Wheezing, though. We do. Oh, we don't one-shot it. Neat. But that's okay. Now that we've beaten Koga, though, we get a 12.5% boost to our speed. But more importantly, and this is going to be one of those episodes, guys, this is the reason, by the way, Golem is so much better than Rhydon, in my opinion. We're going to use, say it with me, the Badge Boost Glitch! Ah! No, we are. I'll show you. This battle with Rival 5 actually shows the strategy in using the Badge Boost glitch. It's not just mindless. So, I mean, first things first, we don't want to get hit by Sand Attack. And second things second, we actually have to be really smart with when we use it. As you can see here, we're not boosting every stat, so we still got one shot by Hydro Pump. Basically, what I have to figure out is how many Hardens do I need to use to outspeed and knock out Gyarados. Fun fact, actually, as I'm getting really bad luck due to Sand Attack, I'm going to skip ahead a little bit because you know how many I needed to use? The answer is 1. I actually only need to use a single Harden in order to outspeed, well, oh my god, can you hit? Thank you. I only need 1 to outspeed both Pidgeot and Gyarados and one-shot them. Now, after we knock out Growlithe, we level up here, which is really bad because we'd like to have additional speed and attack. Oh, wow. Hey, wait. This could be fine? Ah, we needed 1 more. Boo. Okay. So, I don't think this is going to work. So, as I lose here, let's talk about the strategy and how I'm eventually going to win. Oh, we got to reset if we use a Sand Attack. So, just to explain it, in case you're new, welcome. Please subscribe if you haven't. But the way this glitch works is simple. Erroneously, every time you use or a move is used against you that changes your stats, all your stats that you have badges for go up by 12.5%. That's how we're outspeeding things like Alakazam and Venusaur with a Golem. Unfortunately, Rhydon didn't have a move that could do that. Now, there's one massive caveat. When you level up, the game realizes that something went wrong and resets it to the normal badge boost you're supposed to have. So what I just did is battle that one extra trainer, which could not be more perfect. You see, I just checked. I am 1,500 experience points away from winning. So if I do a single Harden, no Sand Attack is perfect, I one-shot Pidgeot, I one-shot Gyarados, and I know now Growlithe is coming out, and Growlithe, unless it burns me with Ember, is the perfect Pokemon to set up all my Hardens. And actually, if he uses Leer, I can set up an additional Harden. And now, as long as I don't get a critical hit, well, actually, I guess it didn't matter against Alakazam, we will outspeed and one-shot the rest of Rival Fivel's Pokemon. This is the only way a Pokemon like Graveler could beat the game fast. If we were doing this challenge in Fire Red and Leaf Green, well, Graveler would have more options, but it would be a totally different calculation. Although in modern Pokemon, it would also have Sturdy, which would be interesting. I wish there was like Red and Blue Gen 5 or Gen 4. That'd be cool. I know it's very niche, but as someone who absolutely loves these challenges, it'd be cool to like do Gen 2 mechanics, Gen 3 mechanics, Gen 4 mechanics. Maybe there's a ROM hack like that exists. It would be interesting, like Fire Red and Leaf Green, but for every single generation. It would be kind of interesting to see what is done. But for now, we're going to easily beat, as I've been talking, Giovanni number 2. We're going to collect a few items we want in Silph Company, and now we can choose to battle either Erica, Sabrina, or Blaine. I want you to guess which one you think I battle next. You don't have to put in the comments. I'm not even doing this for engagement. You can do this in your own head, and you have a 1 in 3 chance of being right. And if you picked Blaine, you'd be wrong. It's Erica. I wanted to get the rare candy, and I can't use strength yet, so might as well battle Erica. I also used the PP ups on Earthquake because at this point, it's pretty much the only move I'm going to use unless another move is super effective. Or I guess against Tangela where it is not very effective. But yeah, that was really easy. That's why we waited. And now, what are we going to battle next? It's Blaine, which makes a lot of sense because Blaine is the final of the Badge Boost Quartet. Brock gives attack. Surge gives defense. I don't know why. I think it's a mistake. Koga says he gives defense, but actually gives speed. And Blaine correctly says that he will give me special once I beat him, which is actually really easy because Blaine's Growlithe actually is stuck. Not only is the Badge Boost glitch a thing in Gen 1, but also quote-unquote good AI, where Blaine is trying to use the only move that isn't resisted by Golem, Agility. Problem is, it doesn't do damage. So I can set up as many Hardens as I want, not that I really needed to. None of Blaine's Pokemon are very good against rock Pokemon anyway, but it looked pretty clean, so we did that. Sabrina might prove to be a bit more complicated because we don't have a lot of special. I'm just going to go for Earthquake. Psybeam does 37, not bad. And then use one Harden. Oh my god, that was a Gen 1 miss. Another glitch. So we're at 55 HP. We do outspeed Venomoth. I'm going to need Alakazam to go for Reflect. Oh, Psywave miss is actually perfect. That could have gone awry, and sadly the one badge boost wasn't enough. But yeah, another fun glitch of Gen 1. Just a random 1 in 256 chance that a move will miss that shouldn't. By the way, Swift, I think I've mentioned this before, but moves that bypass accuracy checks because the mistake occurs during the accuracy check and Swift doesn't do one. Anyway, I went back to the mart to buy more carbos, and to my surprise but amazement, I've actually already gotten, so I don't know the exact numbers, in Generation 3 and beyond, it's 100 EVs and then you can go up to 252. It's similar ratio in Gen 1. You can use 10 carbos, so I have 10 carbos worth of speed already, which is good because I'm going to continue to accumulate stat experience as I beat more Pokemon, and this might mean I have just enough to outspeed Gyarados once I use the rare candies, but first things first, we have to beat Giovanni number 3. Now, just before I battle Giovanni, there are 2 mandatory trainers. I never talk about these, but I go to look at how many experience points Golem has, and even though you may not have seen that, it is 1100. That is how fast it's going, by the way. And I know that 1100 I should get from beating this trainer. I actually just thought he had one Nidoking, but that's fine. The reason I'm worried about this is because Dugtrio could be problematic. So what I'm going to do is just go Harden, and yeah, after that Tail Whip, that's 4 badge boosts. Now 5. All right, we're good. We can just sweep through the entire rest of the team. The only issue is we may level up at one point, so if we level up after Nidoking, which we do, Rhydon's going to be a 2-shot, but still a pretty easy battle, and that brings us to what usually are the 6 most difficult battles in the game, starting with Rival 6. I've opted not to use my rare candies just yet. Pidgeot has to go for agility, and I go for 2 Hardens. This should be enough to outspeed the Gyarados, which is coming out 3rd. It goes Pidgeot, Rhyhorn, then Gyarados, and perfect. I level up. I actually was keeping track in my head when I would. Growlithe also has to go for agility, so I can just go for 4 more Hardens, and then I can outspeed the rest of the Pokemon, but not one-shot Venusaur. Okay. Now, it's important to note that Harden, I can still only increase my defense by 6 stages. Perhaps I could have gotten away with 1 Harden versus the first 3 and then 5, because, as I mentioned just a few minutes ago, my badge boost glitch reset, so I have to re-glitchify. That's a word now. But yeah, that kind of worked only because Venusaur went for Vine Whip and not Razor Leaf. And by the way, those 4 badge boosts might be the only reason I was even able to tank a puny little Vine Whip. Razor Leaf always crits, so if we're hit by that, it doesn't matter how much I boost my special. Even if I had Amnesia, it would still just one-shot me. But alright, now we have to face Lorelei, and this could be really, really bad, because all her Pokemon, to my knowledge, yeah, all of them do, have a super effective move against Golem. Yeah, let's see how this goes. I always like to try once without rare candies just to see. We don't one-shot with Rock Slide. Okay, well, that didn't really tell me anything, so let's try a second time now. Okay, we got a crit there. This actually will tell me more. So we 2-shot, that attack drop. How much do we do against Slowbro? Yeah, no, I can't see it, guys. We're gonna need to use the rare candies. So, this will take a second. Let me just skip ahead. We have 11 rare candies to use. All right, how does this battle look with level 60 Golem? Rock Slide 1-shots, nice. And then, okay, crit, very good. Earthquake is a 2-shot water gun that did a bunch. Now, Jinx, oh, right, it's gonna outspeed. All right, there is something I can do. I can potentially use Harden against Dugong. And then, yeah, well, not if my attack drops. And because I don't know if I have to level up against random trainers, I have to do the 11 rare candies every time. It's annoying. Okay, so let's try this again. We want to go for Harden, Aurora Beam. Okay, attack isn't lowered. All right, miss. Are you kidding me? I missed twice? It even went for rest, which is a weird thing that Dugong sometimes does. and specifically only Dugong on turn 2, even though it's not, it's weird. I don't know why it does it. There's a whole video on it. I don't understand the AI custom for Dugong, but I've talked so long. We've gotten through the 11 rare candies, so what tries is 4, 5? Okay, and no attack drop. All right, that's 1 Harden, 103 left. See, Clamp. Yeah, no, it can't use Clamp. Wait a minute. So I think I have to use 2 Hardens. I think that's what I have to do. All right, take whatever one this is. I haven't actually skipped a battle. You've seen every battle I've done versus Lorelei. 2 Hardens and a crit. One moment, please. I wish I just saved after using rare candies, but I can't just in case. All right, don't lower attack. 2 Hardens. Let's see what happens. Are you kidding me? I just want to see if the 2 Hardens will even work. I just want to see if this even works. All right, just don't lower my attack. Perfect. Perfect. Are you? Oh, this is the worst. After one more attempt where she lowered my attack, here we're going to go Harden, Aurora Beam, Harden, Rest. And then I go for a 3rd Harden because I misclick. But that might be even better, right? We have 33 HP. The problem is with 3 Hardens, it's still not enough to one-shot Slowbro. So even though it was a misclick, it could have actually worked out better, but no. 2 seems to be the magic number. Finally, after what felt like an hour, but was really only like 2 minutes of these ridiculously bad luck attempts, we get Harden, Aurora Beam, Harden. I didn't even need Rest. I was okay with Aurora Beam there because I think we knock out Cloister in 1 hit. And now we should actually... Okay, so I did need Rest there. All right, so we're going for a pretty... If this works... Nice, no crit. Okay, so this is a pretty low probability strategy. We essentially need Dugong. I think it's a 1 in 3 chance for it to go for Rest turn 2. So that's annoying, combined with the fact it can just crit and or lower my attack. But at the very least, Bruno is a joke. I mean, against the 2nd Onyx, I think what I'm going to do is set up a Harden, just in case I get really weird luck and then Submission is super effective, but it went for Fissure anyway. So we're fine. Agatha will be really annoying because even though I will one-shot her Pokemon, I'm slow. So we'll see how this goes. Well, first turn she swaps into Golbat, so Earthquake doesn't do anything. Then I misclick. I meant to go for Rock Slide. I hit it with Body Slam. And then it went for Haze, which actually lowers my stats by 12.5%. Then Gengar I hit with Rock Slide, and then Earthquake. Nice. Golbat, I go for Body Slam because it has more accuracy and it knocks it out, but I'm confused. I don't hit myself in confusion. Actually, Haunter tries to confuse me again, and I knock out the Haunter. Excellent. I snap out of my confusion, even outspeed and one-shot Arbok, and would you look at that, we've made it to what could be the run ender, Lance. It all comes down to this. If I don't outspeed this Gyarados, I think this is over. Hydro Pump will absolutely devastate Golem. Do I outspeed? Yes, and I one-shot. Perfect. Now, let's go for Harden. Actually, do I need to go for Harden? Is anything... Actually, no. Why am I going for Harden? Nothing can hurt me. I'm fine. I mean, it's nice to outspeed some stuff, but Aerodactyl just does normal... Oh, well, it could confuse me. But yeah, I think Dragonite has to go for like Agility and Barrier. Oh, it can go for Hyper Beam. Didn't know. And we didn't one-shot it. Well, at least it had to recharge, so... Okay, we've made it to the champion on our first attempt past Lorelei. We have 8,000 experience points. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this because we have to outspeed Gyarados and one-shot Venusaur. I think it'll be a tough first try victory, but let's find out if I can do it. I have a feeling I'm going to have to kind of strategize this one, but let's see. Okay, I'm just going to go for Rock Slide straight away, conserve my badge boost for later, and Pidgeot went for Mirror Move. Nice. I do one-shot. Alakazam goes for Psychic. Special Drop would be okay. Don't get it, and it only did half. We one-shot. Rhydon is next. Alright. 3,000. So it's going to be after Rhydon. Tail Whip. Ooh, that's a badge boost. That is a badge boost. Just go Body Slam, knock it out. Now I'll definitely outspeed Gyarados. Nice. I think I outsped anyway. We level up, and now I actually can use 7 hardens. Oh, I think we won. If I don't get burned, we won. Oh, we so won. We won. This is it. Oh, wait, no, crit's bad. Okay, let's just go. We'll one-shot. We're fine, right? No crit here. Let's go. Oh, Golem. That's awesome. Dude, that's amazing. Holy mackerel. I thought Golem could be great, but this is one of the best performances we may ever see of a rock ground Pokemon. Under 4 hours after Brock, that incredible, truly incredible. I don't even, where do I rank this thing? I mean, I'm just so impressed, but I've got to be objective. I can't allow my impressed status to impact my ranking, but truth is, I mean, it's in the 60s. It's gonna be in, I don't know, put it just under Lapras? It feels like either between Lapras and Jolteon or after Jolteon. Both kind of work. They both make sense. I mean, Jolteon was quite a few levels lower. Definitely, it's got to go below Lapras, but yeah, I guess below Jolteon makes sense. Still, look at Rhydon all the way down here, and then all the way up here. I mean, that's super impressive. I'm Aerodactyl, by the way, wasn't very good. It may be the only rock Pokemon that will beat Golem is Kabutops, which had water typing to help it with Brock. That's very impressive, although we do still have Omastar, so maybe Omastar will be better? I don't know. We don't have that many more of these left, guys. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you all very soon. Take care.